All right, so we are going to take this and we are going to rotate this 90 degrees counterclockwise. So quadrant 1 is going to become quadrant 2. So let's do that. Quadrant 1, move it over to quadrant 2. That is 90 degrees. So what we then do is take we've got to figure out what our A prime, B prime, and C prime is. And if you remember, yesterday we talked about the pre-image, which is the original figure, and then the image. These are your image. Your A prime, B prime, and C prime is your image. So -5, -1 would be your A, because you're just looking at this like a normal graph. I know this is your y-axis before you rotated it, but now you're just looking at a normal graph. B is -2, 1, and C is at 3, -4. Okay? So now I want us to look at this and I want to figure out, all right, what is happening from here to here? What is the change from A to A prime? So, or like the rule, like we talked about last time with the rule. So we are going from X, Y, and changing that to, okay, so if you notice, this is -1 and this is 5, and then this is, the 5 is here, the 1's here. It's 1, then 2, the 2's here, the 1's here. So like your X and Y get switched. X, oops, I did not mean to write that. I meant to write Y. X and Y get switched. Y is now here, your X is now here. Okay, and this starts as a -1, ends as a -1. Starts as a 1, ends as a 1. This 5 goes from positive to negative. 2 goes positive to negative. 3 goes negative to positive. So we're changing the sign of that Y value. So I'm going to put a little like minus sign here as -Y, and I did not space this out very well, -Y, X. So that is the change that's happening. It's going from XY to -Y, X. Well, that looks sort of funky, but you know, it is what it is. And we can now plot these points. So A, I'm going to use a different color. Why not? A is -5, -1. That's my A prime. B is -2, 1, B prime. And C is 3, -4, C prime. Oh gosh. And yay, there's my shape. Okay, so with translations and actually with like reflections and a lot of the other ones, it's really easy to just spot check it and look and be like, okay, that makes sense. It's like your just shape gets moved over. With rotations, not necessarily the same, because it looks kind of crazy. But that is correct. It has been rotated 90 degrees. That is one way to solve for it. Okay? I'm going to show you way number 2 on how to solve this, and this is without the patty paper. So you are more than welcome to get patty paper on the test and use it, or on the quiz on Friday. You can use that as well. Or you can do it this way. A prime, B prime, C prime. And instead of using patty paper, you could just physically turn your paper 180 degrees or 90 degrees or 270 degrees, whatever it tells you. So I'll show you that way. That's another way to do it. So now I'm going to take my paper and I'm going to rotate it 180 degrees counterclockwise. So I'm basically just turning the piece of paper upside down is all that's happening. So if I do that and turn it upside down, then I just look at this and I know it's funky because it's upside down, but you're looking at it now just through the lens of it is a normal graph now. So my A is at +1, -5. All right? So +1, -5. Sometimes people do not like this because you have to, like, you know, keep moving it around to write them down. My B is at -1, -2. And then my C is at 4, 3. Okay, so you're not looking at it like, don't turn your head or anything. Like, just look at it like a normal graph. And those are the new points. And we'll look at that rule in just a little bit. We'll come back to it to look at the rule. So we can plot the points. 1, -5 is A prime. B prime is -1, -2. And C is 4, 3, C prime. And then you can connect. All right, there we go. We've rotated 180 degrees, and then you can always check yourself by taking your paper, your patty paper, rotating it 180 degrees and seeing if it matches, and yay, it does. Okay, so that's 180 degrees. I'm going to go back for this one. I'm going to go back to the patty paper and show you another time with the patty paper. 270 degrees counterclockwise. So think of it, so 90 is just a quarter turn, and then 180 is a half a turn. So 270, it just bumps it up to 3/4 turn. Then we're still going counterclockwise because it says CCW. So we're going to go 1/4 turn, 2/4 turns, 3/4 turns. And there we are. We are now able to write our A prime, B prime, and C prime. So my A is at 5, 1. My B is at 2, -1. My C is at -3, 4. And that's my A prime, B prime, C prime. Okay, and just like I said earlier, the rules, we'll do that on the next page. 5, 1 is my A. 2, -1 is my B. -3, 4 is my C prime. And there it is. We've done it. So hopefully you it makes sense how the process with the patty paper works. I'm going to do this one, just the other method, just turning it. So we're going to turn this 90 degrees clockwise to find our A prime, B prime, C prime. So 90 degrees clockwise, we're going to take our paper, turn it like a clock, 90 degrees. So A is at 5, 1. B prime is at 2, -1. C is at -3, 4. And then we can, so C, -3, 4, and we can plot these. 5, 1, 2, -1. -3, 4, that's my A, my B, my C. Okay, and is anyone in here very observant and can tell me what example 4 has in common with another one of these? Which ones? It's literally the same thing, right? So instead of doing like example 5 and 6, let's just figure out which one it matches with, and it's less work that way. How about it? So this one is the same as 270 counterclockwise. So if we look here, 180, and instead of drawing this out, we can just take our patty paper and put this on here, and then do 180 degrees clockwise and look at the picture, and then you can realize, oh, that looks the same as example 2. They look the same. So that's the same as 180 degrees clockwise. And I will say that most questions won't even specify if 180 is clockwise or counterclockwise, because it's the same no matter what. And then this last one, 270 degrees clockwise is the same as 90 degrees counterclockwise. Okay? So what I'm going to do now is write this on here and cover it up, and you guys are going to fill this out. I think this is the easiest way to do this. So we're going to take those points from the page before and we're going to write them on here. So our 90 degrees clockwise or 270 counterclockwise are these points. Okay, so what I want you guys to do right now, I'm going to pause my screen, and I want you to figure out, like, what is the change from the pre-image to these two? So what's happening from here to here, just like we did for this? Are we switching the X and Y? I'm going to pause my screen real quick. Okay. These are the rules on the chart.